Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified channel. This is your host, Robert McClellan, your host with the most Red Bull. I don't know. We definitely didn't have a coffee can today. We have a Red Bull can because I've had copious amounts of coffee already. I'm switching up to something a little colder on the throat. So that way I can really go hoarse by the end of this live stream. With that being said, though, we are mixing a song live today. So if you've never been a part of these, we have a monthly song contest where every month, wonderful people here within the chat, as well as within the community, VIP members, all of us get together. And at the start of each month, they start submitting songs because the submissions open up again. And on the last week of the month, we all come together just like this for a live stream and listen to the songs that have been submitted. Now, after a winner is picked, then we have one of these cool videos where of course, it's totally up to you. It's at your discretion if I mix this live, but we have one of these types of videos where we mix the song live. It's very cool. And then, of course, during this entire time, the awesome community of audio lovers and myself provide feedback on the songs and offer up friendly suggestions on how you can improve them. And after a few days, I then choose the winner and we do this cool stuff like this. So if you want to get in on the fun, you can follow the link in the description of this video, or you can head over to the Home Studio Simplified website. It's super simple to find. Guess what? It's called 𝗏studio_simplified.com. I know, mind blown, right? Mind blown. But by heading over there, you can go to the top of the screen and you'll find a lovely little tab that says none other than, get this, monthly song contest. That's right. You guessed it. There it is. Actually, let's go over and check that out so you can kind of see what that looks like. So this here is, well, I know this live stream is the best. Didn't know you was going to be up there though. But this here is what it looks like. And up here is the monthly song contest link. All you got to do is simply click that. You can submit your song right here. The songs that have been mixed and mastered will go here below. These are songs that we've mixed and mastered here on the live streams, some of them. And yet again, it's all at your discretion. So if you come in here and you go to submit a song, you're going to find out, here's the rules before submitting anything. And then I ask you a couple of questions. And one of them is, if your song is chosen as the winner, would you be willing to share your multi-tracks with the VIP members? And if your song is chosen as a winner, can I mix and master that live on the YouTube channel? And you can select no and still be chosen as a winner. So that doesn't just automatically exclude you from winning because you have selected, yes, I don't want you to share these. So even if you select no, that just means that will be one less live stream, live mixing session that we do that month. And I'll churn out something else that we can do. But with that being said, that's kind of what that whole soiree looks like there. And while you're in there, give a listen to the podcast. We have a podcast. I keep failing to mention this. We are up to 75 episodes. We got more coming down the pipeline, I hope. I got some individuals lined up that I'm going to be trying to bring on board. 75 episodes, though, in. Our last interview was with Spencer Gibb, the son of Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees. That was a really cool episode. You want to go and check that out. There's also a blog over here if you haven't seen this. And this is just a great place where you can sort of get some written content of some things that I've covered here on the channel. I have a recommended tab where these are all plugins and audio brands that I recommend. And I try to keep these budget friendly because I know that most of you are working out of home studios or you just don't have the budget to work with some of the stuff that I'm working with. So I try to keep those all budget friendly. So with that being said, this is the area for that. Of course, we're going to be using this today. I'm sure the reverb and delay calculator is here. And then I have the store. So this is where you can sign up for the VIP membership. You can either sign up monthly or yearly. I also have some consultations that I offer, private mix critiques. If you don't want everyone else listening to the critique, I will record a video of me critiquing your song and send it back to you. Here's some of the courses that I offer: Compression Simplified, Creating a Song Step-by-Step 2.0. This is literally going from start to finish of an entire song. You get multi-tracks with it. And then, of course, the Ultimate Cakewalk course. Now, this is 6 hours worth of in-depth content on how to use Cakewalk. And likewise, you get multi-tracks with this one to mix along with me. And then, of course, we have 𝗏𝗲 𝗛𝗦 has an awesome tutorial with us, as well as Addie from Hit the Road Music Studios has an awesome tutorial with us. Now, these are both included free with your VIP membership, or you can buy them just outright. 𝗵𝗲's course is $12, and the Mixing Desert Blue is $47. So if you want to go over to the website, check that out. That's always a fun area. And then our giveaway section, we always have giveaways in here, so you want to keep making sure that you're hopping over and checking this out. We just gave away the Smart Reverb by 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Super cool. And I love the fact that this company has reached out and decided to sponsor this channel. So here are the tracks that we have today. But before we get into that, of course, you know, we have to give some major shout outs to some individuals that I love and appreciate very much. And they are the chart toppers. You know, if it wasn't for you guys, a lot of the stuff we wouldn't be able to do it, especially the giveaways. I mean, we give away a lot of stuff on this channel, and I'm actually, quote unquote, a smaller channel in terms of what I give away. So, I mean, there's larger channels, like much larger channels than mine, that don't give away half of what I give away here. And I'm able to do that because you guys keep supporting the channel. Not all of that money that comes in from the VIP membership or the YouTube membership or even the Patreon supporters, not all of that money goes straight into Robert's belly. Now, a good portion of that does, because I like to eat. But a lot of that goes back into the channel as far as buying giveaways like plugins, as far as buying gear to make sure that the live streams are going to operate better. And so with that being said, this is just a great way for you guys to help support all of the time and the investment that comes in here. And if you just want to give once, there's a super chat feature that's found in the chat section. As you're chatting right now, you've already hit that like button. I'm sure you've already smashed that like button, as these young pups say these days. But also there's a little S icon on there that looks much like the S at the bottom of your screen where it says Top Super Chatters. That S will allow you to donate a one-time donation to the channel. Now, granted, a lot of that gets shaved off the top. It's kind of crazy, honestly. YouTube takes a huge chunk of money from me. That's why I always try to recommend that people join a VIP membership or a Patreon membership versus the YouTube membership, just simply because you get more value in those areas and I get more of the moolah. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. You guys rock. And I would be remiss without giving a huge shout out to one of the major proponents of this channel that has helped this channel early on whenever we were just 5,000 subscribers. And since then has just taken me under his wing. He's a great mentor, Warren Hewitt from the ProMix Academy, of which I have a course in, yet again, the Cakewalk by BandLab tutorial course. Let's give him a huge shout out here. Today's video is sponsored in part by the ProMix Academy. The ProMix Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the ProMix Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the ProMix Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. Here we are. Camera's acting a little glitchy today. That's fine. We'll work through it. I had to recently redo some things here within the stream to make sure that it would match up with the camera settings. So by doing that, we've ran into a few little bumps in the road, but that's fine. We're going to do the best that we can with what we got. So this is the song that we're working with today. Let's just give a quick listen to what it sounds like now. As you can see, the tracks came in very minimal in volume level. That's actually kind of cool. Normally they're like smoking hot and I've got to do stuff to try to fix that, or just tell them, sorry, we can't mix it. But these actually came in at a very, very conservative levels. As you'll see, like the lead vocals came in at -12. That's usually where, at the peak, I should say, -18 is about where they were coming in at. That's standard right there. That's what I preach and teach on this channel. That's where you want to get your stuff going. So the camera's still trying to figure out who I am. Yes. Who is this guy? And then looks like most of the other vocal tracks are coming in at -18. So they look kind of small on the screen, but they're actually coming in at where they're supposed to come in. So with that being said, you can just, over here in Cakewalk, you can just kind of zoom into this bad boy. You're going to see your icon change right here in the middle. And look at this. You can make them bigger without increasing the volume. So I don't necessarily have to do that, but sometimes it doesn't help. And now I can't get out of there. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, sometimes it helps to be able to see them. Sometimes it doesn't. But mostly, you know, it's aesthetic. So I don't necessarily have to see them to know what I'm doing to them. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you a brief listen to, so you can kind of see where it's coming in at now. It's about negative 20 dBs on the output meter to YouTube. Definitely might require a little bit of, let's put a little dynamics on here just to get that up to where you can actually hear that. And I always default to the 1, just simply because it's awesome. Let's see if that sounds better. So as you can hear, the tracks are actually recorded very well. They're very clear and concise. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back down now, and we'll take that off. And I'm assuming that DJ Big Red 81, this is like right up his alley. He's always, all the time, ribbing me. He's like, man, you got to do some country, because he knows I'm not a big country fan. However, as much as I'm not a country fan, oddly enough, I am a Southern gospel fan. Didn't see that one coming, did you? So with that being said, let's crack open the old Red Bull and get started. Now, I am going to work on the drums first. And by the way, it would be notable to mention that I have nothing going on here. This is a completely clean slate, other than my template has some EQ built into it here. And that's just about it. And of course, I've got console emulation automatically on the lowest setting, just sort of giving it a little bit of warmth. But other than this compressor for the parallel compression track on the drums, there's really nothing else going on these tracks. So this is a completely, we're starting out fresh. This will be a good way for you guys to sort of get a roundabouts of what I'm doing here. More cowbell. I may have lied. Yes, this has tape saturation, so I lied to you. All right, guys, it's over. It's over. You know, Robert done lied. Okay, I do have some tape saturation on that channel there, and some console emulation, but other than that, there's really nothing else going on here. So we're starting with a clean slate, and most of these EQ moves that I've got baked in here on my template, these are just standard EQ moves that I would make as starting points. They're not going to be like baked in hard and fast. A lot of times I just set it and forget it because they sound good. So that's the beauty of using templates, is you get to move a lot faster. And if you join the Rocket Fuel bundle ever, which it won't be happening again for a while, it's just way too time sensitive, time consuming. That would be a better word. If you do get a chance to join one of those, though, that's one of the major things that I preach and teach in there is templates, using templates, utilizing those templates. So let's start out with these drums. This is a stereo drum track. It's one file. He was kind of set back, and he was like, I'm so sorry I sent you a stereo drum file. Dude, that's completely fine. No problem at all. We will work with what we're given. And, you know, a lot of times you get files like this because it's from a drum loop or something like that, which is totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and set the output to the drums bus, which was here. That'll just give it that tape saturation already. Shouldn't affect too much more other than that. And we're just going to go ahead and listen to that track by itself for a minute here. I forgot, I need to, just for the sake of you guys being able to hear this, I want to bring in the one mastering processor. And if I don't remember, please remind me to take this off before we start exporting mixes and stuff like that, because otherwise it'll mess with stuff. See if this is a little better. There we go. Actually doesn't sound too bad the way that it is, but I'm going to go ahead and put a high pass filter on at 40 hertz. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's because these sends were there. Hello. Let's turn these. Let's just delete these sends. Get rid of them. All right, so we got a 30 hertz, 40 hertz high pass filter here. I'm going to go to 65 hertz. This is usually where the fundamental of the kick drum is. I'm going to boost it just a tad bit with a higher Q. Okay, I'm boosting that by 2.5 dB, but I'm going to hunt around because that doesn't really feel like it's hitting it where I feel like it should. Hold on. Yep, I feel like 55 is definitely doing a lot more there. Just a little 2.5 dB boost. And we'll bring this back up again. That snare actually sounds pretty good, but I'm going to try to go to about 400 hertz and dip out a little bit for making some room for that kick. Cleaned it up a little. Usually about 1.8K. Oops, not 180. 1.8K is usually about where the snare drum needs to pop. It's a little bit too much. Backed it off a little. Okay, I'm liking 1.6K. And the high end actually sounds really good. But I'm going to give it just a little bit of top end here, like 1 dB. And we're going to start that at 6K. All right, let's listen to a before and after. So this is before and after. Not a big deal right now, but later on it's going to be. A lot of times when you're mixing, I've said this time and time again, I'll say it one more time, it's the small changes, many small changes that add up to the big result that you're wanting to get. A lot of small changes. If you have a bunch of big changes, you have a mess, is basically what you have. Okay, so I've got the tape saturation on there, but I'm going to go ahead and remove that. As that high end really didn't sound too bad, honestly. And then I am going to add. Let's do this. And I'm mainly just doing this, guys, because I've got a ton of Waves plugins, and I have to learn how to use these things. So I'm going to be using my Waves plugins today. Oh yeah. I forgot. I have no Waves plugins. I forgot to install my licenses. Okay, so I will not be using any Waves plugins today, unfortunately. I meant to do that last night because I have all of their plugins. It will take usually 30 minutes to an hour sometimes for all of the licenses and all of the updates to take place. So we will be using no Waves plugins today. As much as I need to learn how to use them, I also need to learn how to reinstall them. Yeah, that was a little bit of oversight on my behalf, but that's fine. We have other stuff we can use. So as far as, let's see, I think I'm going to go with this unichannel, actually. We're going to put this unichannel on the drums, and I might even have, you know what, I do. I have some drums presets, and I'm going to start with a preset and see if I can't go from there. Now, I definitely don't want anything rock sounding or nothing like that. Let's go with overhead 1 and just see what happens. Ooh, you know, that's a good idea. Midnight Blue Movies has a great idea. Let's use nothing but Cakewalk plugins. So I'll take off the 1 here. And let me bring up, let's see, for compressor, or for limiter rather, sorry. I hate that one that you go to click on something and it disappears on you. I'm going to use the adaptive limiter. This is, now for those of you who have Cakewalk now, the version that you have now may not have this. This is a legacy plugin. I'm hoping that they're going to start bringing more of these back. But we shall see. So I'm going to set this to like -3, and then we will play it again here. There we go. That'll bring things up to speed. Now, the thing I love about the adaptive limiter is it's very transparent. You hardly even hear that it's doing anything unless you really crank it. And of course, it's got some crazy features in here that I've covered before, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and leave that there. And then, so in order to get this, these drums, nope, that's not Cakewalk. Let's see here. Actually, let's just go to sort by manufacturer. And let's go with Cakewalk. So let's see here. I want to put something on these drums that's going to really, PX64 percussion strip. Why not? Yet again, another legacy plugin if you don't have access to this. Actually, this may be one of the ones that they just reintroduced. I think they just reintroduced this one. If so, if you guys know about this for sure, I've been using Cakewalk for so long now that a lot of the legacy plugins, I just automatically assume that they're not in there because but they're adding in a lot too. So let's try and use this PX64. Okay, add a little saturation. Saturation in and out at 20%. And this shaper is really cool. Let's check this out. See how that tightened it up? Or you can make it a little more distant, give it like a rockabilly sound. So this is more like an analog sound. This is a more digital sound. I'm going to go with analog on this one. All right, throw on a little compressor here. Just a little bit. All right, I'm going to leave the equalizer alone because we've already done that. But even this here alone has already added some punch. Okay, so this is with it and without. Very dry, sterile sounding. And then, beautiful. That already sounds amazing. Okay, so now we are going to, sorry about that. I don't even know why I just did that. That was so weird. Have you ever wondered while you're watching these live streams sometimes, like, why is this guy so stinking weird? Like, what hole did this guy crawl out of? You know? I mean, who is this guy? Who is this weird? Okay, I'm going to stop now. Anyway. So as you can see, I'm sending some to a parallel compression channel. And as of right now, it was actually adding some in there. But what I want to do is, I want to really get this pumping. So I'm compressing the snot out of it. As you can see here is the gain reduction. This is me compressing the snot out of stuff. Okay. I'm going to slowly blend that in. beefy, punchy. I love it. It very well might be the Red Bull. I don't know. It's giving me wings. So I'm really liking that high end of those drums. Like normally this is the point where I would slap on this tape emulator and say, we gotta help tame some of the high end on those drums. Let me go ahead and try and put it on there anyway, just to see. It might add a little bit more girth. Okay, that's without. Yep, I definitely like it with. It opened it up quite a bit. And I just realized I have nothing in terms of console emulation on the buses. That's going to definitely dramatically change some things too. Now, I'm going to go ahead and address something here because I've seen this quite a bit. I've had a lot of people asking the question, do you have your console emulation as the last thing in the chain or the first thing in the chain? And to be honest, I'm just going to be completely 100% downright honest. I don't even really tell a difference. I mean, maybe across 50 billion tracks, if I had a way to A/B it, I would be able to be like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. But it's going to be very minimal. And it really just depends on how you want to do it. Do you want the incoming signal to be compressed through the console coming into the effects, or do you want the outgoing signal compressed after all the effects have been added? It's totally up to you. But I like it this way. So in this case, if I was running a $1 million studio back in the day, I would normally go out of the board into a tape machine. So that's why the tape machine is going to be last in this case. All right, so there was a little craziness on my behalf. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to select this tolerance button on all of these at once. And I was able to do that by highlighting all of them, holding the control button, which is like your secret key to unlocking magic within Cakewalk. And then I'm going to click the tolerance, and it's going to click that tolerance across all of those instances of the plugin. What this is going to do is it's going to make sure that every one of those are reacting just a little bit differently. So it'll give it a little bit of variation. Okay, after adding the tape saturation, I am going to turn down that parallel compression just a bit because it's starting to get a little too beefy. And yes, that is possible. So now that I've got the drums sort of dialed into the way that I like them to sound, and of course all this is subject to change, I'm going to see where that's hitting on the fader after I turn the limiter off. Okay. So around -15. So when I add in the bass guitar, which is what we're going to work on next, okay, let's turn on this limiter again. Okay, that bass sounds a little blah, for lack of a better term. To answer a quick question here that popped into the chat from our good friend, 𝗵𝗲 the Gamer, he's asking, which version of ASIO or ASIO are you using? Because he says, I downloaded and installed the newest one. It's not compatible with Cakewalk. So it hasn't been compatible with Cakewalk now for a while. I don't know why they stopped support with ASIO because it's pretty much the standard. But even with that being said, I haven't used ASIO in forever, probably over 3 years. Reason being is when I'm using the live streaming setup that I'm using right now through OBS and all of that, it never wanted to share. So when you're on ASIO drivers, like they don't want to share their audio with any other program. However, when I switched to MME, I haven't had a bit of problem since, and it doesn't affect the stability. It doesn't affect the quality. I've been using this now for 3.5 years. You guys haven't popped on the stream and went, dude, what's going on with your quality? So that being said, I would just switch. It's totally up to you, but for some reason, I don't know what happened, but yeah, they actually quit. What's going on here? Oh, they actually quit supporting ASIO drivers. I don't know what happened. Weird. There was a big write-up on the Cakewalk forum about it. I didn't follow it too closely because for whatever reason, like every time I try to chime in on there, everybody's just acting weird. So I guess because I'm not running another YouTube channel, but anyway. Okay, I'm going to shave off a bunch of that low end. Up to 75 here. Still sounds like there's a little bit of muddiness going on there. Okay, we're going to boost around here. Okay, now that's a very dynamically played bass guitar. So we are going to tame that bad boy with a plugin that was legacy but is now part of it. So we are going to be using the Cakewalk CA2A. This thing is my go-to for bass guitar. I love it. This is just going to make the guitar more consistent. Okay, now I'm hearing a little bit too much string noise, so I'm going to back down that 1.8K. Okay, cool. Now, a lot of times with this genre of music, the bass guitar is more or less felt more than it is heard. So we're not going to try to get this like crazily into there to where we can hear every single note and every single phrase. But what we are going to try to do is just make it more audible and more felt. And by boosting that 72, which now I've cranked it up at about 77, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get everything more felt, because we're boosting the fundamental and not just the sound that we want to hear. Let me go ahead and bypass what I've done here, and this, I know there's going to be some volume difference. Sorry about that, but here we go. So this is pre-EQ. I'm going to turn the EQ on. And as you can hear, there's a lot of that low-end mud and rumbly stuff that was cleaned up. So that's going to help. I'm just letting you guys know right now, I'm taking my time today going through this. So this might end up being a 2-part or even a 3-part series. We'll see. But I have noticed in times past, I've been kind of rushing through these mixes, and I want to take more time to really stop and explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, that was the whole purpose of me starting these videos anyway. So if it takes a little bit longer to get through some of these mixes, we'll still get through them, but we're going to do it in such a way to where everybody gets more value out of it. So, all right. So I feel like now it's just going to be adjusting levels based off of, you know, what I want to hear in context with the mix. So I'm going to start moving on to some more instruments. By the way, it's so good to see each and every one of you in the chat. I don't think I've really given a shout out to those of you who are in the chat today. Shame on me. Thank you for being here, Jonathan Hamlet. He was one of the first ones to pop in. Aside from DJ Big Red 81, thank you so much for popping in here. Micah Catergram is up in here. Oh, Micah. God love him. He's an awesome individual. Created some awesome videos, by the way, for the 10,000 subscriber celebration. I still think about that all the time. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗛𝗦𝗦 is up in here. Gives me a laugh every time I think about it. It was a great job. Drew, thank you so much for stopping by. And I think he is a first timer. So you know what we do for first timers. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome. If you're not a first timer, there's a round of applause anyway. Here's our great friend 𝗬𝗵𝗲 𝗬𝗵𝗲. I don't know how to say your name, brother, but I'm so glad you're here. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, I'm just going to call you Big Daddy O. How's that? Probably don't like that. I'm sorry. I'm so, that's just horrible, Robert. What are you thinking? Robert. All right, Midnight Blue Movies. You're up here in the chat. And of course, Mob the Gamer, he's all up in here. Andre, he was here for a little bit. He had to jump back, and now I think he's back again. Quick backstory about his YouTube picture here. This is actually a picture that he took from, I think he said a Sound on Sound forum or an old Cakewalk forum. I've done forgot. It has a backstory, okay? Like everything in life. And then who else we got in the chat here? I think that's about it. Oh, SSR Tube, it just jumped in. So good to see you. It says, hi, bro. I love your Michael Jackson videos. Well, thank you so much. I like making them. Having a good time with them. So thank you all so much for hopping in the chat today, for being a part of it. And let's go ahead and move on now to some more instrumentation here. I want to go ahead and just knock out this piano because I feel like it's really an integral part of this entire process. And we really need to nail this piano in order for it to, for the song to go over well. Okay. A lot of low end there that we don't necessarily need, because the bass guitar is actually going to inhabit that space. Okay. Very cool. Okay. Definitely sounds like it was maybe from a loop library or something. Interesting. Still sounded good though. We're going to go with it. I think I've got sort of dialed in, but I want to hear it alongside the bass because I might have too much bass. And just as I thought, that's too much bass. It's inhabiting too much of the bass space. Let's turn that down a little bit. What's up, Florida Panthers 2020? Much better. There we go. See what I mean by the bass guitar picking up on the low end where the piano was? That's great. That's just amazing. Okay, so I've kind of got those dialed in, sounding like I'd like for them. That also seems like it's also very dynamic. So I'm going to go ahead and just click and drag this CA2A over here. And it might be way too high. Okay, now it's a little bit too loud. Pull it back down a little bit here. There we go. Now you notice like there's like some little cuts in there. I don't think you're going to hear that really that bad whenever the song is actually playing, but if it gets to the point where we start making these instruments more heard and it does start affecting things, we might have to kind of do some ninja tricks there. A lot of times if I put some reverb on it though, it's going to help that dramatically, but we haven't got to that section yet. We are still working on just right now, just basic EQ and getting volume levels up. So nothing too crazy right now. Let's bring in some acoustic guitar. Might just bring them in both at the same time and see what we got to work with here. Let's see. Okay, so that one's more strummy. And that one's more like lead lines. Okay, and yet again I have sends on here. I got to take these off. I don't know why I didn't just highlight both tracks and do that at the same time, but anyway. This is how you waste time with Robert. Okay, so I'm going to work on this strummy one first. That's right, that's a word, strummy. I'm going to go ahead and paint it up the middle just while I'm working on it. Honestly, those EQ settings sound like they're working. Let me take them off. Okay, I'm still hearing a little bit of honkiness, a little nasaliness. I'm gonna hunt that down. Okay, there's some. And there's some. Beautiful. Okay. Still has a little bit of a resonance in there that I'm not quite liking. That's usually where I would bring out some soothe, but I can't do that now because we're using nothing but Cakewalk, right, guys? Okay, so here's how I'm going to do that with Cakewalk. I am going to find the Sonatus equalizer, and I'm going to hunt that bad boy down. There it was. Beautiful. Moving on to the next one. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more low end back into this one. I lied. Okay, I turned the gloss on, added a little bit more high end, boosted just a little bit of low end. There we go. May have to take out even more low end when we bring this bass in. Let's listen. Okay, so I took out a little, dipped out about 71 hertz, almost 3 dBs on each side, and that's on the Sonatus equalizer. So whatever boosting that I've done here, that's not going to affect. I'm going to go ahead and bring that back down to about 1 dB instead of 2.6 as it was, and that's in the 136 region. Should have cleaned it up a little bit. All right, let's bring in that piano. Okay, doesn't sound too bad. Let's bring in the drums now. It is stomping underneath the desk. How do you know that? Okay, so for all the folks that have told you never to EQ in solo, they're right. Don't do that. However, when you're trying to find... Let me just move over this way. When you're trying to find resonant frequencies that you can't seem to find, you got to put it in solo. So there's that, you know. Doesn't that sound kind of haunting? I'm shaving off a ton of low end on this one. I'm going all the way up to 200 hertz. Dipping out some of those resonant frequencies and boosting the high end. Because that's really the only thing that it needs to contribute to the mix. So let's check it out in context with the mix now, or at least what we have. And to your point, yes, I did shave off more of the piano. I was at 109 on the high pass. I'm at 141 now. So let's do this. That sounded pretty stinking good if I don't say so myself. We're going to try something a little crazy, okay? On this 𝗧𝗵𝗲 acoustic, I'm going to try something a little nuts, okay? I'm going to try this PX64 percussion strip simply as a shaper. I want to see if I can get this a little tighter. Bear with me. This could help remove some of that room sound. Do a little saturation on it. Okay, so before, after. You can still retains, you can hear rather that it still retains a lot of the same tonality, but it loses a lot of the room noise. And I'm just going to copy that over to this track and see if it helps it as well. This track I don't think really suffered from it too badly. Okay, so that helped to take care of a little bit of that room noise. That way later, when I go to put reverb on this, I'm not going to be reverbing the reverb. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to be, now let's hear that in context with the mix. I might even be able to turn them down more because I feel like they're going to be more audible, and it's going to not interfere with those bass frequencies again. Let's listen. Good. That really brought the song to life, in my opinion. Really helped that to come into where it that was just great. Great stuff. Let's work on these electric guitars now. Ooh. That's gorgeous. As you can see, I'm just barely tapping that there. And you can hear there's a lot of low end that doesn't need to be there. Going up to 130. Because there's a lot of 2K in this song already, from the pianos, from the steel guitar, from even the acoustic guitar, I feel like these are going to probably be better heard anyway. But in order to keep them from affecting the lead vocals later, I'm going to go ahead and make an executive decision to turn this down by like 2 dB now in the 2K range. Around 6K though, I'm going to be boosting this so that it will sort of rise above the rest of the mix in terms of the high end by about 3 dB. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this guitar, but then what I'm going to do to change this up and make it just a little bit different, let's listen to it by itself. Awesome. That sounds pretty good and separated. I like that. And yet again. Okay, I'm going to turn off, or I'm going to delete these sends on here, because we haven't got to that point yet. As far as, I know DJ asked, when am I going to be doing my 3 reverb trick? That's going to be here in a little bit. Right now we're just getting basic levels, and I didn't even really do a rough mix of this song. I'm just kind of getting things where they can sound well together, and then we'll dive into the rough mix. We're kind of working in a different form and fashion today, but that's fine. Let's see, somebody asked a question here. Yeah, 23 Guitarist says, how much LUFS? As of right now, I'm not really concerned with it. I'm not really worried about it. I will definitely be more worried about that during the mastering phase, and then I can make adjustments to the mix. That's the beauty of sort of mixing and mastering a song, is the fact that if you're the one mixing it, it's going to be a lot easier for you to master it, because then you can just go back and do like a whoop, turn everything down by a dB or 2. So right now, not really too concerned with that aspect of it. So, if that makes sense. Okay, let's hear all of this now in context with everything else that we've sort of affected. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to definitely be putting a little bit of delay on that solo because that's one of those things where it's like it's cutting in and out again. So what I would like to do is let that delay sort of take over those parts where it cuts out abruptly. Okay, so I got a quarter delay on the left and an eighth delay on the right. What this is doing is giving it some movement so I can still keep it panned up the center, but also give it some width and some depth with this delay. The beautiful thing about the Sonotest delay, as clunky as this thing looks, as old school and outdated as this thing looks, it has all of the right things that you need. You have a left and right delay that you can link. You also have manual tempo sync or automatic like host tempo sync. You have the ability to listen to only the delay by itself. So check this out. Or this is the mix. That allows you to hear, if you can hear just the delay itself, you can EQ it differently, and it even has the filter built in. So I can shave off all the low end, shave off a lot of the high end, and get sort of that Abbey Road reverb trick going on here, which is just beautiful for getting things to set into a mix fine. And I'm going to sort of loop this section here and try to get a good volume level because this is the first one that comes out of the gate. It kind of will dictate how it needs to sound the rest of the mix. So let's go ahead and check it. And that means you got to actually put in the rest of the tracks, Robert. All right, let's do it. Okay, it's too much. Too much. Let's see. Let's go to an eighth on each side. Let's see what that does. Oh, that makes sense. I was listening to the delay only. That's why it sounded like too much, because I was hearing the delay only. Let's check it. Now that I'm hearing the whole mix. I'm gonna try and do something a little crazy here. Let's try this. Yeah, the one-time delay was a bit too much. We'll turn that back down to a quarter. That didn't sound too bad. And then, as Midnight Blue Movies has just made mention of, you can actually turn the mix knob down a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Let's turn that down to 20% instead of 30. That should hopefully give us the sound we're looking for. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Has that very Southern gospel sound baked in there now. And it might be just a bit too loud, but I'm liking hearing it. So I'm going to turn it down just a tad bit, just a tad. And then we'll start working on these lead vocals. I don't know. We might get this knocked out today if I keep going. Okay. Forgot I had that looped. All right, we'll bring this back in here. We'll go ahead and unsolo everything. We'll just mute these tracks for now. And let's work on this lead vocal real quick here.
Many an opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found.
Wait a minute, what track am I on?
All we gotta do is just...
I had the lead guitar track selected. That stinks. So that means I just adjusted the wrong track. Okay. Good deal. What is up, NVR? We got a newbie up in the chat now. Good to have you here. He says, Elvis raw track reaction soon. Dude, that would be phenomenal. I would love to do some Elvis raw track reactions. I just need to find the multi-tracks. Or have someone that's well connected send me those multi-tracks. Oh, wink, wink. Really love the channels. Greetings from Vienna. Ooh, nice. Yeah, we have that ability here in Cakewalk as well. It's just probably not really prevalent right now because I'm not clipping. If you're seeing a lot of red on your meters, that's a bad thing. You don't want to see that. All right, let's bring up. Here we go.
Many an opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is, stand on holy ground.
VX64 vocal strip coming up.
If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
Little companionship.
If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out. The good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you when you shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, church, shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is, stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
Looking for
Many an opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. Shout the glory down. Shout the glory down. Just shout the glory down.
Sounds like that solo's getting cut off too early. Hopefully some reverb will help blend that in there.
An opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself.
Awesome. Okay. We're getting somewhere, folks. Now, with these backing vocals. These backing vocals are going to be sent to a new bus. And I'm just about ready to knock over my Red Bull can that I just obliterated. I say obliterated like I really did something to it. Here we go. Let's insert a new stereo bus. We're going to call this one, imagine this, a BG Vox.
Oh, you can tell by the way I vox I'm a ladies' man. No time to talk.
Okay, that was weird. All right. We'll come in here, and it's pretty bad when you start calling yourself out about your weirdness. We're going to move this down here, down yonder. Change the color. No, I don't want it that color. There we go. That makes more sense. All right, so then that will allow me to send all the background Vox. I'll highlight them all, hold the control button, and select background Vox. Now this is going to be their new little bus. This is where they're taking a trip. They're hopping on this bus, and they're going to get treated a little differently because they're on a bus. Now we're going to help them because they're on the bus. They're on a short bus.
Many an opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
Okay, not sounding too bad. Let's bring these in, solo them.
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down.
All right, I need to find the low.
Shout the glory down.
Okay, so that's definitely not it. We're going to bring that over here to 50%. What's this one?
Shout the glory down.
Okay, that's the low. It's going to stay in the middle.
Shout the glory down. Just shout the glory down.
And we're going to bring the high to the right, 50%. This should give us some separation.
Shout the glory down. Just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed.
Okay, I'm going to leave the high vocals where they're at unity, and I'm going to turn the lower backing vocals down by 2 dBs. Let's make that 3 dBs. That should give us a nice little setting there.
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down.
Chick-fil-A. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a request for Chick-fil-A after this live stream is over. So we may not finish this today because Chicken is calling my name. So your mom will be home in 30 minutes, right? Probably. Is she all right with this? Does she know about this?
I asked her if she wanted to go, and she said no, your dad can.
Oh, okay. Looks like we're going to Chick-fil-A here in about 30 minutes. All right, anyway. Chick-fil-A interlude. All right, let's check it. This is in context with the mix, so loud noise in 3, 2, and...
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out. The good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you when you shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, church, shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into...
Okay, so here's the beauty of mixing into a limiter. Now, I did just turn the limiter off, but here's the beauty of mixing into the limiter. I'd be interested to know what it sounds like without the piano. Interesting. Let's try that here in a minute. Because I've mixed into the limiter, now when I turn the limiter off, I'm mixing into something where everything sounds like, turn the high vocals down a bit. Yes. I'm actually getting ready to do a complete rough mix again now that everything's sort of EQ'd. But because I've mixed into the limiter, when I turn this off, look at the loudest parts.
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down.
I'm at like -6 dBs. Tons of headroom. And of course, this was recorded at conservative levels, so that definitely helped a lot too. Let's turn off the piano. We'll turn back on this limiter because he's wanting to hear what this sounds like. I'm kind of curious myself.
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground.
You know what? Actually, that sounds a whole lot cleaner. It's making me reconsider how loud that piano is in the mix, or even EQing it differently.
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is. Stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town. All you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel deep.
Okay, let's check this out. We're going to go to the console view. What's up, Nikki Jernigan? I don't think you're a new timer. I think I've seen you here before, but I'm going to give you a round of applause anyway because Red Bull is coursing through my veins. Okay, let's select all of these. We're going to collapse all those down. That was our buses. We're going to select all of these, collapse all of these down. Now we're going to take all of the faders. I'm leaving these here at basically at Unity. I'm going to keep that one at Unity. So everything else should be good. I don't even have a delay on there, so that's fine. And now we are going to turn all of these down to negative. I be here before. Hey, she be here. All right, so now we are going to mix into this limiter. Yet again, this is going to give me a little bit different representation. I may have to adjust levels afterwards, but it's also going to give me, I'm taking out 145 hertz off of that piano. I don't know if I can take out any more. But with that being said, this is going to give me a little bit of a different viewpoint from how everything else is going to sound because I'm mixing into that limiter. So I may have to adjust levels after I take it off, but it's also going to help us to hear things a little bit better. So sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. You know what I mean? Roll with the punches. That's not even a song. I just made that up. Okay. I'm going to start with the drums and the bass. We'll work our way into everything else. I want to try to keep it at Unity. Piano. Shaving off all the way up to 184 hertz, folks. Throw a little tube saturation on there. That'll help it to poke through with some harmonics without everything getting crazy. Acoustic guitars. We're going to bring these in at the same time. There's more low end on those than I thought too. Okay, that sounded a lot cleaner. Let's start this over again. Bring in these electrics.
shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you want deliverance, shout the glory down. If you want your healing, shout the glory down. If you want salvation, shout the glory down. If you
Okay, that sounds pretty stinking good for just doing some rough mixing and balancing of things. And we haven't even really adjusted the EQ on these. I'm just going to copy and paste these over. Let's hear that.
shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground.
Beautiful.
If you want
Beautiful. We've done it again, folks. We've taken a song that sounded really good to begin with, and we've made it even better. Now, here comes the cool part. Let's start adding some space to this. So, because yet again, we're only using Cakewalk stuff today, we're going to be using the Sonotest reverb. This is actually a really good reverb, believe it or not. It really is. So my BPMs are currently at 75. Okay. And as stated before, as stated before, I am wanting to use the reverb and delay calculator like so. Okay. So I'm going to type in 75 as my BPMs. I'm going to go to a quarter note duration, regular, calculate. 800 milliseconds is a quarter note duration for 75 BPMs. Okay. So remember that, 800 milliseconds. That's going to be our that's going to be our middle or our medium plate. So 800 milliseconds. And that should be decay time right here. So 0.800. All right. That's for our middle. And the low cut, yeah, we can just, I mean, I'm already doing it on the Pro channel here, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and do that there. Cut that at 85, 100, somewhere around there. And we want this to be completely wet. So we're going to turn the dry down. We want it to be stereo. We want it to have a tail. Okay, early reflections, we're turning those down just a bit. And the rest of this, I'm just going to kind of leave it as it stands. Just sort of stock. Okay, so this one is 800 milliseconds. This one is for our long haul. Good night, open up. So it's going to be 1.6. It's going to be double of that. Okay, and then this one for our short plate. Why does that keep doing that? Because I'm double clicking it. Hello. This one's going to be 0.4 or 400 milliseconds. 0.400 milliseconds. Okay. That's going to be our reverb settings. If you want to see more in depth on why I did this, I need you to go to a previous video that I've uploaded already where I talk about my 3 reverb trick if you want to know more about that. Then again, now that I think about that, that might have only been available for VIP members. Not sure. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, we're going to start adding some depth in here to all of these tracks. So what we're going to do is, I don't necessarily have to do it on the drums. Okay, so for all of the tracks that aren't going to a bus and we're going to minus out that bass guitar. So any track that's not going to a bus and the bass guitar, those will be excommunicated from the reverb. Okay, we're going to turn all of them down. This will give us our blending capabilities. Now for those, the bass guitar, I'm not going to put any reverb on it. The backing vocals, they're going to this bus. So I'm going to put the send on the bus only, not on all three backing vocals. That will help them to be treated as if they were recorded in the same room, same space. Likewise, the drums are going to this bus. Going to do the same thing here with the drums. Okay. Now we've got everything dialed in as far as that's concerned. Our levels are dialed in. Let's start with carving out a space for the drums first. As you can see, it's not like over the top. Okay, I like the way that sounds. We're going to build everything off of that now. I'm going to take the long delay off the guitars because I don't think that they actually need it. Let me listen to these guitars by themselves. I'm going to pan them left and right because they are already panned.
Just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out. The good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here.
Okay, so this is where I said I feel like that the reverb would help this electric lead where it's like cutting in and out. Let's see if it does. I'm going to turn the reverb long haul up a lot and give it a little bit of short, which hopefully will help to inhabit that space where it's not. And I'm actually going to delete the medium on this one as well. I gave the acoustic guitar some short and some medium, and I gave the steel guitar a lot of long and a lot of short.
Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praise is, stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out.
Now, if you notice, that time you didn't hear like an abrupt cut in that guitar. You heard it where it kind of like faded out a little bit better. That's because the reverb allowed it to sort of fade from the reverb tail. A little beauty of using reverb too, is it kind of cleans things up when there's like abrupt cuts.
Opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out, the good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you when you shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, church, shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
So those reverbs just added the depth that was needed to really solidify this mix as being quote unquote pro. If I mute the reverbs so that you hear none of the reverbs going on, we're going to bring them back in. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is before the reverbs were added. Very dry. Let's bring them in.
Opinion has been floating around.
Bring him in.
How to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
Beautiful.
If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out, the good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you when you shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, church, shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, All you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
All right. Here we go, folks. We're going to be using something especially cool today to do our mastering. Now, we're going to be using nothing but Cakewalk, of course. And that is a call from my wife that I'm going to try to take. Okay. We're going to bring up the old LP-EQ like we did just a minute ago. And this actually has some really cool mastering presets here. So we're going to be using some of these here. Let's do reduce honk and mud. That looks like it's a bit too much. If you flip it upside down, it kind of looks like Batman. Let's try that. Okay.
Many an opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out, the good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you.
All right, we're going to use a little LP-ENVY, little multi-band.
Shout the glory down, church, shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you want deliverance, shout the glory down. If you want your healing, shout the glory down. If you want salvation, shout the glory down. If you want saved loved ones, shout the glory down.
There we go.
Just shout the glory down.
Look at that.
keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out, the good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you when you shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, church, shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you want deliverance, shout the glory down. If you want your healing, shout the glory down. If you want salvation, shout the glory down. If you want saved loved ones.
Okay, we're gonna reset that. I'm going to try to get this to -14 LUFS. That's going to be my goal here.
Many an opinion has been floating around how to keep America all safe and sound. It's really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come into your town, all you gotta do is just shout the glory down. If you feel depressed like no hope can be found, I've been there myself where I felt so bound. Just let your voice break out, the good Lord loves a sound. Nothing here can bind you when you shout the glory down. Shout the glory, church, glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival,
Sounds pretty good in mono.
all you gotta do is just shout the glory down.
definitely getting there until the vocals come in. Which is good for streaming services, but that means that the vocals might sound a little distorted when it comes to the streaming services. Actually, we're right at -14 right now. Boom.
If you want deliverance, shout the glory down. If you
So we're
want
going to take all
your
these vocals, turn them
healing,
down just a
shout
bit.
the glory down. If you want salvation, shout the glory down. If you want saved loved ones, shout the glory down. Just shout the glory down.
Not too bad. I'm getting close to -0.5. Not too bad. Let's try and give it a run through again one more time.
Really no big secret, the Bible's where it's found. All we gotta do is just shout the glory down. Shout the glory down, just shout the glory down. God lives where his praises stand on holy ground. If you want revival to come
I think that right
into
there
your town,
should be
all
it.
you gotta do is
Yeah, we're
just
close to
shout the
-1
glory down.
dB true peak max.
If you feel
And even at our louder parts, we're getting -13 LU at best. That's golden, especially for the balance of the mix the way that it is. That's, in my eyes, that's about as good as it gets. So thank you so much for showing up for today's private mix and mastering session. I say private because it's public. That made no sense. I meant to say thank you for showing up for this live mix and mastering session. It's been a great time working on this song. I'm still going to probably do some automation. This is just the first rough mix anyway. I'll be sending it to the client, and then they have 3 more revisions. They can tell me what they'd like to hear. I may have nailed it with the first one, who knows? But hopefully you've got to see that all of this was accomplished inside Cakewalk with free plugins. It's possible. With that being said, there's one last thing that we got to do, and you know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to spin the wheel of awesomeness. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You thought Robert was going to forget, because Robert's getting forgetful in his old age. That's right, he just turned 40 in February. This guy's old. He's so old. He's coming back. I gotta go. Why did, so Casey just took off running out of the studio. That was 𝗧cie Cason, by the way, if you guys didn't know. He works here part-time. I think he works here. I've never seen him really do anything other than spin this wheel, which it looks like right now he's having a hard time finding the wheel to spin. What are you doing? Yeah, it's in the same place it's always been. I didn't move the wheel on you. I didn't move the button to spin the wheel. Okay, we'll spin it. What are you doing, Casey? Why is he chuckling maniacally over there? What did he just say while I was gone? Okay, anyway. We've landed on a tutorial video request. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a tutorial video that you would like for me to make, leave that in the chat section. I would actually prefer you to leave it in the comment section after this video has ended. That way I'll actually see it. If it's in the chat section, I have to go back and rewatch the video to find out what you said. Or you can always shoot me an email at homestudiosimplified@gmail.com and say, hey, Robert, you know what? Why don't you make a tutorial video on this? And then I'll do my best to make sure that I do. Let's give some shout outs real quickly as well to these folks. These, I can't even say that. I don't know what that, 𝗧𝗵𝗲 has subscribed, as well as Gene Ultra, as well as 𝗧𝗵𝗲 Leo Carmichael Adventures, Kyle Early. Thanks to all these folks who have become recent subscribers. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. You're awesome. And for those of you who have stuck around for the entirety of this chat today, thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe. Also remember to share this video with your friends, and any of the services that I could provide will be in the description of this video where you can go and grab that. Also, I just need to let you guys know that you rock. Okay. I mean, I need to, as if you needed to know that, because you already know. I mean, line dancing will not be included. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Not only can I not line dance, but I won't. It's just not going to happen. No. That's where I've got to draw the line in the sand. Okay. By the way, if you're on the Discord server, or if you're not, you should be. But if you are, you can always leave a tutorial video request there as well. I'm usually in there all the time, popping in, popping out, answering questions, putting little emojis on the screen, getting griped at by DJ for not releasing videos sooner. All kinds of cool stuff happening in there. Just kidding. Just kidding. DJ's a really great guy. He's not forcing me to do anything at all. He's a really great moderator. He never tries to, oppose, put his opposing opinions in there. And he's just a great guy. I love him to death. He needs to be in the chat more often, and he's not ever trying to force my hand or, put my arm behind my back. Okay. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and peace out of here. Just kidding, DJ. I love you. But thank you all so much for showing up. I hope you learned something today. If you did, make sure that you share this with your mixing buddies, and make sure you bring everyone over here. Mob says, that's my joke. It really is. And Mob is a great guy too. He never tries to hurt me or anything like that either. So, okay, I got to go, guys. They've showed up. Until next time, remember, we can dream alone, we can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. God bless you guys.